So I'm going to say this very plainly. You're watching this because you are a Christian or you want to be a Christian and you feel like you are ready to invest, to put your money towards something that multiplies so that way you can stop working your 9 to 5 and actually have money come in passively. That's what most people think when it comes to investing. First off, not a great way to think about it. So I'm just going to shatter that real quick. I'm going to share with you what you actually want about building wealth. Hi, my name is Timothy. I'm a Christian financial coach. I've been a financial coach for 2 years, been a Christian for over 4, and I've been studying personal finance since I was 17. And today I'm literally just going to read off something that I've made for you, and I'm actually going to share it into the description below. So if you just want to wing past this video and go straight to that, perfectly fine. That's whatever. And today I'm going to go over the Wise Manager Guide for Christians, that's you, to build wealth, at least from a biblical standpoint. In this video, you're going to learn 1, how to build a strong financial foundation, because most people skip this step and then they build their house on the sand and then it falls over like a dead fish. So we're not going to do that. 2, we're going to get wise guidance, and I'll share more about that in a minute. And 3, we're going to learn how to invest consistently for the long term, so that way you're not diving up and down with the roller coaster of the markets that we've all been seeing lately, and how you'll actually be basically the top 1% who does make money through investing. Because lately I'm seeing a lot of day traders and stuff like that nowadays who drain all of their emotions and lose all of their money playing this game called day trading. Now let's get into it. Investing is not about chasing money, it's about faithful stewardship over time. If you do not have this in your mindset locked in before you get into investing, then I can already tell you need to stop thinking about it, and you need to figure out that first. You need to figure out how to be a wise manager with your money, how you want to do with it, what you want to do with the future investment. So you put in $10,000 a day and you want to pull out $100,000 later. What do you want to do with it? What do you want it for? What is that vision that you see in the future with that money? The Bible says in Proverbs, the people without vision will fail. I ask that you will avoid failure, you will create that vision, and actually think about what you want to do with money. So step 1 is to build a strong financial foundation. And I'm just going to go over the checklist real quick. First thing that you need to do, 3 things there. First thing you need to do. First thing is save 3 to 6 months of expenses in an emergency fund. Now what is that? Let me explain. You make a certain amount of money every month. You should have that amount of money into a savings account that you do not touch under almost any circumstance. That is basically what an emergency fund is. 3 to 6 months, and that varies. You could really just think of it about how comfortable you feel about the money. The second thing is pay off consumer debt. This is a pretty big one. And the reason why is because the Bible in Proverbs, once again, says the rich rules over the poor and the borrower is slave to the lender. So I don't want you to be a slave trying to figure out how to become wealthy. Slaves don't become wealthy. You got to break that chain off first. So credit cards, car loans, personal loans, mortgages, and huge student loans are about the only thing that I would not try to cut out before getting into investing, because you're going to spend if you're in one of those situations, you're going to spend the next 10 years of your life cutting out debt and not planning at all for investing, which is going to be a big time loss. And finally, the last thing on this checklist is to create and follow a monthly budget. There's this great quote by H.P. Lovecraft, and he says, "The greatest fear to mankind is the fear of the unknown." And so by not knowing what your finances are, you're automatically making winning with money stressful. Also, Dave Ramsey says that 100% of people who win with money plan with money. So if there's anything that you're going to take away from this video, it's that you'll do this. It's that you will create and follow a monthly budget. I recommend the zero-based budget. You can go to EveryDollar and go set one of those up. But it's kind of the starting point and foundation to developing your finances, honestly. Now then, that's step 1. Step 2 is to get wise guidance. And the reason why is because the Bible says, once again in Proverbs, sorry, I can't remember the verses, it says, iron sharpens iron as one man sharpens another. Now, what this really means is that people sharpen each other by collecting point of views and expertise, so that way we can create greater things. If you know anything about the story of, I believe it was the Tower of Babylon, the reason why the Tower of Babylon was becoming so huge and so massive and majestic and all of that stuff, so much so that God had to completely stop the operation, and how he stopped them is by allowing them to not understand each other, removing that iron friction so they can no longer sharpen each other and no longer work together. If you're seeing the connection, cool. I'm just going to move on. Now then, the only step for step 2 is to hire a SmartVestor Pro advisor. That is one of Dave Ramsey's financial advisors. I recommend those as someone who came from Dave Ramsey's coaching program, because I find their principles extremely sound, and I have not found any advisors or anybody like that who lines up as well with the Bible as SmartVestor Pros. So, highly recommend those, because many people benefit from working together with a trusted advisor who shares a stewardship mindset. That's who these people are. A qualified advisor can help you build long-term retirement strategy, choose diversified investments, and stay consistent during market ups and downs. So that is step 2, because it's that important that you get somebody else in your life besides you twiddling your thumbs on your phone and not knowing what the heck you're doing investing $10,000. You don't need to do that. Now then, step 3, final step, is to invest consistently for long term. Now this seems obvious, but here's some tricks to do it. First thing is, once your financial foundation is stable, you got all that stuff out of the way, I'm not going back over it. Here's how to begin investing. 5 things here. 1 is to invest 10 to 15% of your take-home pay, if not more. If you can do more, that's better, at least for the short term. Do that consistently. 2, use retirement accounts such as your employer's 401k and Roth IRA. Not the other one, can't remember the name. Roth specifically is best for it. It's just better. Trust me, it's just better. You can look up why. Because it's tax deferred, whatever. Don't use the other one. Number 3, invest into diversified mutual funds or broad market funds rather than singular stocks, stuff like that. It's because you're spreading your risk. You're spreading your little Easter basket. So that way, if you put all of your eggs in the one basket and, oh, that company died, you just lost all of your money. But if you spread it across 12, 20, a lot of mutual funds have like 700 stocks in them. If one stock breaks down, you won't even notice. As a matter of fact, the other ones will outperform the one that just dropped, which is why they have statistically proven to be well over 10% on average every year since the creation of the stock market. That's why we recommend these things, because it's the safest and gets the most bang for your buck. 4th thing is a little trick here, is to set up automatic investing so discipline replaces emotion. It no longer feels like a drag to have to sign that $400 check every month, whatever, to do this. It comes out automatically. It was already written down in your budget. You don't have to think about it or process it. You check it off the list and you move on to the next month. And number 5, last thing, is to stay focused on long-term growth, not daily market swings. If you're looking at the market every day, you're just one step below a day trader. A day trader does the same thing except puts money in every hour and constantly moves stuff around as if they're betting on horses at a racetrack. And you don't need to be doing that. By the way, most day traders lose money every day by doing that. Speaking of day trading, here are some things to avoid. You can probably guess one. One is these get-rich-quick investments. schemes, I used to fall for these a lot. Of you put in $15 and you're going to make $500 tomorrow. If it doesn't feel right, avoid it. 2 is stuff like day trading. This is borderline gambling, high risk, except people just call it an investment. And so avoid stuff like that, high risk stuff, and avoid emotional investing based on headlines. If your emotion is tied to your net worth, you have a heart condition problem where you believe your worth is tied to your net worth, which is not true. You can let that go. God gives you our worth, and you simply manage the resources that He has given us. And you put some of those into the market, which is what you're trying to do now. Now then, that is pretty much the whole step guide. Here's one thing, one bonus here that that I think you'd really like, which is the stewardship investing mindset. Because if you do not have this in place, your money is not going to win. 4 things here. I'm just going to list them off. Stability before growth. Again, going back to step 1, stability before growth. Purpose before profit. Figuring out what you want to do with your money is way more important than getting 1,000% return on your money. 3rd thing is consistency before complacency. And the 4th thing is faithfulness over time leads to multiplication. This is why the most successful investment strategies have always involved 5-10 years plus, not 3 months, 6 months, tomorrow. It's time over multiplication. The Bible says multiple times, wealth built slowly leads to, wealth, righteousness, whatever, but built hastily is ignorance. Focus on the long term, which is why I said at the beginning, have your vision, because your vision's a far ways away. Now then, I told you all that. That's some great, fantastic advice. And truth is, I have just read everything off of this PDF that I made on how to build wealth. So if you basically want the script I just spoke to you, check in the description and you'll find it. All you gotta do is click on it. You should be putting in your email somewhere. Wealth building tips from me as well as this. So you're gonna want both. And review it in your own time. That way you can always go back to it as you're going through the steps. And that's pretty much the end of the video. Anyways, like I said, my name's Timothy. I'm a Christian financial coach. My goal here is to give you biblical money wisdom, and I hope I honored that. Anyways, I ask that you would like and subscribe because your like helps me reach more people just like you who need this advice as well. 2, I ask that you check out my Instagram, timothysmith.coach, and I'll leave a link in the description for that where you can go check me out, follow me, and get more advice there, basically. And 3rd thing, if you like what I do, you can join my new Freedom Finders program. At the moment of recording this, the next 4 people get 50% off. It's a 12-week program to become a wise manager. So basically, you would be implementing what I just shared with you and so much more. How you can get into that is that I'll leave a link in the description for this as well. Schedule a 15-minute call. I'll introduce the program. I'll show it how it will impact your life, and you can get into the program, or you can leave a little wiser, knowing more clearly the next steps that you need to do to handle money well. So again, thank you for watching the video. Get this, go get all those free resources, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.